Well, you know, quite honestly, it's going to be up to, I was going to say, the agent selection. I feel like Ascent is a map where operators can come into play and they can be quite handy. And so the amount of flashes that you bring to the table can really level up the experience that you have as a team. And for the side of the Sentinels, they're starting us off on attack, and already ShahZaM locking in that breach tells me, okay, they've at least got one flash. They've got the paranoia from Omen, so one more flash than their opposition on Immortals. But we are seeing two Sages, used to seeing a very Sageless composition across multiple teams on Ascent, so we'll see how that pays off.
Yeah, and the good thing here is that they're still using a double smoke agent composition here for the defenders, at least, to start things off. But Sinatraa and company, I was talking about Immortals at that point, but Sinatraa and company now, as the Sentinels on the attack, are starting things off here with an Owl Drone to scout out towards this A side, but not walking through yet to try to break this trap wire.
Yeah, sending out a couple of feelers early, but you know, we saw at the T1 showdown, T1 rather, just hit A every single round, and TSM could not really do anything to stop it. We'll see if that's going to be the case. Koler already with a frag to take out some of that pushing power coming in from the Sentinels. That's going to be 2 down now as Thief takes out Sinatraa, but they're still going to be looking to push in.
That's right, so Sig is now trying to move inside too, but Koler's going to get that first kill, and that third one, rather, into this A site. Paranoia to come out too, Dapr is swinging out of it. That's a 4K coming in from Koler, and that is a great way to start the best out of 3 with a flawless victory here.
Yeah, you know, it has to feel good when you don't really even lose a single member. They can carry their pistols into the round ahead. And, you know, in some cases I've seen, especially this is the one where you lock up on SMGs and heavy armor. I've actually seen some adaptations where they'll just stick with the Ghost and they won't really need to buy anything new. I think we saw that out of Genghsta, still holding on to that Ghost. So interesting to see their adaptations when it comes to the economy and how they keep things going. But it is already Sentinels looking for a different site this time around.
That's right, so we're looking at the chat here asking who chose Ascent at this point. It is Sentinels that picked it first, and then if it goes to a second map, of course it will go to a second map. It is Immortals pick and bind, and if it needs to go to a third, it will be on split. So this round now, you could see 4 players of the Sentinels walking up towards this mid because they want to split into B, but Sinatraa is already down to 13 HP, so that's going to be the heal wasted early on that Sage. They're moving inside right now with the breach fault line towards this spawn side, but the crossbar is perfect for the Immortals.
Wow, Asuna and Genghsta, they'll pair up here and find a couple of pairs of their own, all down to Dapr now. Trying to use the classic, but to no avail. Almost felt like, you know, a flawless round, but look at those symbols on the ground. It's a graveyard, and the Sentinels are the ones that paid the price. Moving into the third round, of course, this is where the full buy comes in from the attack. But we've seen, and even from your own experience and from my experience, Ascent, a very defender, can be a very defender-sided map. So we'll see if that's going to end up being the case, or if it will be Sentinels kind of proving us wrong.
Yeah, when this map first came out, it was a lot about, oh, mid control, and then we're getting the split so that the attackers could take advantage of the sites and also get the rounds. But more and more, we're starting to see it lean towards the defender side, too. So now it's going to be the orb being contested by the attackers of the Sentinels for free, at least, as we have pretty much a very passive play here for the Immortals. Sorry, I said the Sentinels, right, are taking the orb. So it's very passive play here for the Immortals as they have the Omen playing all the way back here with Asuna, even with the Sova meeting up with him. So only a solo player inside B. The wall's going to go up early for Immortals as well. And looks like they are gambling for an eventual push from the Sentinels on this A side.
I also saw that Immortals were able to afford an op this time around, and that really probably was on the back of Genghsta not buying anything in that second round, wanted to be involved. And actually, it's Asuna that has the operator, so my apologies there. They still have an operator in play, which is quite the ticket there to be able to purchase on that third round, especially if you do end up deciding to buy some SMGs. And in this case, I don't think they did, of course, winning 2 rounds for them. But I had a look around mid, weren't really able to find anything that they could work with, and so now they'll just heavy push blind in towards A. In the tree room, it's Koler with the Phantom. That's going to find one. Sinatraa, though, will quickly answer there with the refrag as he's already made his way onto the site, but the spike's not there yet, and now Immortals, they got to retake the site.
Genghsta, as the Owl Drones are kissing each other, the wall bang coming through. Does it connect? Unfortunately not from either side. Genghsta is still trying to rotate across now as he has truck starts moving inside the site, and they spot the Sage at least towards that front. They have important Paranoia ready if they want to as well, as they're moving now as Sick is trying to hold it. He did get paranoid. He's hiding behind the boxes. We're close in for the Immortals as well, and the wallbang comes through from Koler, so the headshot as Sick falls down. 2 more to go. ShahZaM is still alive with Sinatraa, but just under a 4K coming through. Now it's a 1 versus 1. Sinatraa here. Can he get the ace clutch? Recon Owl to come out. Now he spots him. He's straight through the box. He gets the frag onto Asuna, and the ace clutch coming in for the Sentinels.
You know, the Overwatch player of the year, massive player, of course, for the San Francisco Shock, coming in and saying, hello, how do you do, CS players? Takes all of them out in one fell sweep. Really have to give kudos to Sinatraa. And that also means some money goes in the bank to some charity, of course. That's an ace. Yep. That is an ace.
$30 now given to me, $30 by Reflections, and that's what, $40 now for Golden Boy? Good cause, guys. Good cause. Bala, I think he said something. His name is Bala, but I think he's only giving like $2. But it's okay. Every dollar counts.
Now moving on to this round. Of course, it is the attack that we're able to clean things up, and it does look like for Immortals they have a couple of weapons in play. For Thief, that's a Phantom in hand, and they're looking for another A push, but this time they don't have anyone pushing in from Catwalk. The other 2 members still looking towards the Fish Market. And of course, middle control, that choke point still uncontested from Immortals. A lot of respect going over towards the attack, but that seems to be the name of the game on Ascent. Playing really far back and giving the opportunity for the attack to maybe make the mistake if they push too far in. But our cover going to come out, and it's still Sentinels with 50 seconds left on the clock.
That's right, and you do have an operator in the hands of ShahZaM, known here as a big opper for CSGO in the past too, so is transferring that skill into this game. He was trying to pick towards his mid side first, but as he sees nothing, he's looking back for an aggressive peek towards the tree side without getting any opposition. But now Koler gets walled actually, down to 26 HP. He's trying to smoke it out, but it's going to be too little too late. We're already executing inside the A site, a flashpoint to come through as well. Can we hold it for Thief? We cannot.
Yeah, it's going to be Sick. He finds one with the Bulldog. Was looking for that weapon off to the side, but he's like, you know what? I can't risk it. Genghsta, he's going to find one with the Bulldog, and it's just pandemonium coming out from Immortals. They'll find 3. It's still up to Sick, though. He's going to try to get those shots, and it'll be good. But Koler from the side picks up an upgrade, and they'll get the defuse. Another round on the board here for Immortals, and they only lose 2, which I think is pretty interesting.
No, exactly, especially due to the fact that Koler was kind of out of position. He had a molly in hand. He was trying to molly up towards that catwalk, and as soon as he peeked out, he saw Sick, but Sick only had a rifle. Thankfully, a shot rang through from ShahZaM, who was right next to him with the operator, but since ShahZaM was already out of position, only got the wall bang and couldn't secure the kill. So that gave a chance there for Koler to fall back, get those smokes down, and try to run back and slow down the opposition long enough so that his teammates could come back to rotate. And thankfully as well, Thief, yes, he didn't hold it for that long, but at least he took down one down with him. So that's the important thing to do as an anchor. If you have to fall down, at least take one with you.
Smoke's going down, and for the side of the Sentinels, does not look like they have the weapons that they would like in play, as we hear a couple of those pistol shots ring out. Trying to get a couple of those feelers out, pre-firing around the corners where members usually peek, but considering it's pistols galore for the Sentinels, you can't really expect them to do a whole lot. So they might look to make this expensive. It is a 5-man push ready to funnel in through mid, and it's the Hunter's Fury here from Genghsta looking to try to clean things up for him quite easily. You will be able to find that last one. I really thought that Sinatraa was going to be able to do the Matrix and bend over and dodge that one, but he'll fall, and it's still 4 strong here for the Sentinels.
Yeah, he bent all over all right, but that's to eat a Hunter's Fury arrow, unfortunately. So now they're still trying to take this mid control, though. Bjor is still holding by the main market, so he is actually set up for a better angle if they try to check their 50s trying to move through. But the good thing here for the Immortals is that Sentinels are actually on a pistol save. So it's going to be classics, Sheriffs, Ghosts trying to move forward. So having a solo hold in this area and losing him in this fight is okay, because I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to take down at least 2 with him. It's smoke towards the back, at least from the Omen. And here comes a few. That's the first. Here's the second. There's the third. There's the fourth. He's looking for a fake ace, and he's going to get it there onto Sinatraa, as the res was wasted at that point too.
Okay. How many aces do you think we'll get in this match alone? It's a best of 3, and there's already been 2. We're not even at the second half yet, but what I have to say is they had a great crossfire setup, and to be quite honest, Sentinels did a great job of putting that dark cover in place. I mean, they had no idea to know, of course, there was going to be a crossfire. They at least blocked off one, but Oh, it is, of course, just going to be Bjor who gets everything that he needs and finds all 5. I would have at least expected a trade, but great resilience for him on the trick.
Yeah, and again, I think it was a fake ace at that point. Yes, he's still got 5 kills, but since it's for a good cause with the United Way, I'll put another 10 into that. So we're at 45 here on that side. We'll see what the others, what they think. But this round, though, we're going to get a gun round coming through here for the Sentinels, and they have put a lot of opposition here towards this B side on that market, but one of them just rotated back. So it's kind of like a 3-on-2, but the Owl Drone at least came out. There's spot 2 players there. Very nicely recon by Genghsta.
Yeah, great looking in as well, and great cover as well. If you know the opposition looked to try to take it out, he could just hover or go lower. He has a lot of options. He wanted to use them. Flash here from ShahZaM. Flashpoint not going to connect with anyone. We've seen him do it, you know, almost every single round. Just try to clear out the Kench bench and maybe closer towards Pizza, but no one's there, and no one from Immortals has played there. They're giving a lot more respect, and in some cases, it's actually worked out for them. We're seeing the red carpet here rolled out from ShahZaM, looking towards the A site. The rest of the members from Sentinels looking to push in, and little do they know, Asuna's on the other side. He might be able to actually catch them out of position. That's going to be one. Picks up the up, and he's got to back away. That's going to be the spike down, but now he's in a great position.
Gets the wall, and actually a leg shot through the smokes as well. So the Cypher is actually low on HP at the same time too, but at least it gets planted. It's a 3 versus 3, Neural Theft as well being thrown. So this is going to be hard for a retake now because they know exactly where the defenders are coming from. And it's going to start off here with Sinatraa with the Owl Drone. Spots again the second player, the Silva towards the top of the Raptors in the back, and he's going to go with a recon dart that misses unfortunately. The res is going to come forward, but why are you jumping in with your knife out? 3 of them simultaneously die, leaving Genghsta on his own once again towards his heaven, and Sinatraa picks up that kill.
Lambs to the slaughter, and Sentinel are looking for a good harvest this year. All of the Immortals players just funneling in one at a time into the meat grinder, and they'll come out the other side like sausage. Now, it's another round here for the Sentinels. They can be happy that they found that one, and to be quite honest, it was pretty much a big fumble on the Immortals half. They just funneled on in, and like you said, one had their knife out. I mean, you get the res, and you're trying to defend the res by pushing forward, but you don't push forward with your knife. You know, you want your gun out, you want to click some heads and take some people out, but an unfortunate loss there from Immortals. Let's see if they bounce back in this round ahead.
Definitely, and it starts with an early paranoia. Even shock guards coming in from that window side. It is going to hit Sick, and Sick is even going to heal himself on that. That's interesting. He had 90 HP and is going to go for his self-heal. Now he's got to wait 45 seconds for that to actually regenerate so he could use it again. Meanwhile, though, we have pushed aggressively towards his B side to contest towards the orb for the Immortals. We've taken it, we've fallen back, and we're back to a default.
Seems when Sentinels have... Well, actually, that's a lie. I was about to say when they have weaponry, they play it a little slow, but they were even playing it slow on the eco with the pistols, leaving their opposition guessing where they're going to go, and that seems to be the name of the game. They want to catch them by surprise. But, you know, not many of these rounds have really even gotten the spike down, so Sentinels maybe need to start with that part first, making their way through. Sick, as we see him lurk, he's really in deep, almost near the defender spawn, and that's going to be a surprise for Genghsta. Face full of lead from Sick, and now it's going to be the B push for the Sentinels.
Super easy one. Nice initiation there coming in from the flashpoint too, but an orbital strike flushing them out, but it's going to be a fault line, unfortunately, that dazes Asuna, and Zom still gets the kill, but it's trade at the trade, but advantage comes in for the attackers of Sentinels that have made it into this B site on this 3 versus 1. Rotation coming in from Thief. We've seen him as a big fragger before. The new tryout coming in for Immortals as well, but he's out of position. Now he's even spotted from a recon bolt that gives a chance for Sick to come out and seek him to kill him. That's what I meant to say.
All good, I'll give you a pass. You know, you said the T word yesterday. Exactly. You're forgiven, all right?
All
you're
passes.
Forgiven. You're forgiven. All right, okay, so we just passed the half of the half, so we're nearing that end point. Economy is really going to start to play a factor, and we're seeing Immortals here. They're on the save. Sentinels, they've got credits. They've really stocked up on their investments and their portfolios, looking great, so they have nothing to worry about. But, you know, for them, it is Phantoms across the board, really not opting in for literally the operator. Trying to keep it at close range. Haven't seen the Odin yet from Sinatraa, but maybe he feels like it's better suited on another map.
Early ore picked up here for the Sentinels. We have some sort of contention here towards the A main. That was deep, but they are on a save, so unfortunately, yes, they're trying to catch them off guard here for the Immortals, pushing through everything right now. but unfortunately they're not winning these fights. Even we're having a hard time shooting out the recon arrow with our Sheriff. And now the last person's going to be spawning here towards the generator to know exactly where he's at. He's even darted down to 89 HP and 28 armor. But as they're closing in on him, they really want to get the kill. Koler hoping to get one before he falls, but that's not going to happen. Dapr picks up the kill, and just like that, in a span of a few rounds, and I blink my eyes, I open my eyes, it's 4-4.
Yeah, all tied up, and for the side of Immortals, they can really start to maybe worry, considering the half when it swaps. Maybe Sentinels feels a little bit more comfortable on the defensive side, and that's where they will be once we get to that second half. And so another default setup for them to kick us off in the next round. Round number 9. They're looking for information on both sides. It's going to be the push down AC, and the rest of the team looking towards the fish market to gather some more information. But for them, it's Genghsta on the other side. Recon Bolt likely going to make things a little bit more interesting. It's the Shock Bolt this time that makes it interesting. But their location will get revealed, and likely they'll have to back away if they don't want to get too physical.
Yeah, it seems as though this is what they want to do in terms of a counter with Genghsta. Whenever they're going to see a Paranoia being thrown from the B link into the B main, then they're going to counter with shock darts just in case people are actually clouded up there, so that they could actually get the entry towards that B. So it's a good way to throw it, but it didn't land towards anybody really there on that side for Genghsta. So it's going to stay on a 5 versus 5, but they have conceded the orb at the beginning of B.
And I believe that was the orb that went over to Dapr. I think he picked it up. He doesn't have Neural Theft available quite yet. Maybe he's quite close. Maybe a couple of points away. But they'll back away. They got the orb. They got what they wanted. Yeah. ShahZaM, of course, used the flashpoint towards mid. He was looking for zombs, maybe to get a little early look in towards the bench Kench. He won't find anything there. It is Asuna there, though. He is hiding there, but they'll get teleport onto the site, and it's a quick shot from Thief to take him out. Koler as well will find one in rotation. Koler with 2 in rotation. ShahZaM will take out Asuna, and they're still trying to break open onto the site.
That's right. Despite them knowing where Thief and Koler are, they still manage to get all the frags towards that front of the site, even from a pinch coming in from Catwalk. A great rotation, even greater hold from the 2 players inside the site of the Immortals, and they retake the lead. They haven't really lost it since the beginning of this matchup, but it got caught up to a tied situation. And when we talked about the last time these guys faced against each other, finishing 13-12 in sudden death, it's looking to be that case again here, Simo.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see what the round-by-round looked in that match on the T1 Showdown. Of course, I don't recall it off the top of my head. That would be insane. I would have photographic memory. But it would be interesting to see if it was so back and forth similar to this match. And if so, then that means that maybe not much has changed. But we, of course, do know that is not the case. Sentinels have felt a little bit more upgraded, a little bit more valiant, a little bit more hungry for success. And we're seeing that here as they're keeping things close to Immortals.
Again, Koler's going to play super passively inside that garden. Usually you see him towards that ledge looking straight into Catwalk, but he's just going to go for the smokes and really play in obscurity. So as he puts that down, they could still take advantage and walk through it right now, and it does. And the first one to run across, but he was spotted here, and even a Neural Theft to come out. This is going to be big coming from Dapr, and they're going to be able to at least get that information, get into A at the same time too, and Sentinels will get that plant.
I'll get that plant down. It is now to Immortals in the 3v5. Kind of put together all that they can, and it's going to be a tall task for them. Smoke's coming out up into heaven, so it's going to be difficult to cross. Recon Bolt as well. I believe that is the Immortals Recon Bolt. I think Bjor might be looking for a couple of exits, or maybe for some information that he can rely on a frag or 2, but pretty much the call there is to back away. But look at this rotation from Asuna. He's trying to sprint over as fast as possible to get some cheeky little exits, but he's going to be greeted by some of these members very shortly. He's in position. ShahZaM knows that something's not quite right with how this recipe for disaster is coming through. Now Asuna, I wonder if he hears anyone on the other side. In fact, he does not want to risk the weaponry. I think he... Oh, that was so... Okay, I appreciate the effort. Okay, he was looking for exits, ran all the way around the map, but still got taken out.
Yeah, just from a quick AD from Sinatraa, because you saw that the crosshair of Asuna was really much following Sinatraa in case he was continuing to head towards mid, but as he whiffed the 2 first bullets, it comes down to the reaction time of Sinatraa, snaps to that 90, gets that kill on that 1 versus 1 spray battle. So a nice job there for Sinatraa, tying up the situation here 5-5 overall because, of course, the spike did go off. So you talked about a lot of rounds where they weren't able to get spikes down. They finally did here, and it finally went off too at the same time. They didn't really need to kill everybody at that point because we're saving our weapons into this round for the rest of Immortals in this 11th round.
You know, the last time they faced on Ascent, it was Sick, ShahZaM, and Dapr topping the charts. But this time it's Sinatraa. I really do feel like, even with the recent tournament, the Cash App, he was able to really level up his game. Not sure what has changed since now in the showdown. Maybe better coaching, maybe a better practice environment. There's a lot of factors that we may not know about. But what I do know is that Sinatraa is having a great time. Seeing Dapr, though, he's not having such great of a time. Has to back away from the Molotov. And it's still 50 seconds left on the clock for Sentinels to push in.
Yeah, that's new to me. I guess it probably existed for quite a while now, but it's the first time that I actually saw a cyber cage that could turn into a one-way towards that tree side. So that's actually really good and useful here for Thief playing inside A. That's now anchoring, and he's also dazed, unfortunately, as Dapr gets the easy frag. Everybody, once again, made it inside this A side, but Koler's in a better position this time because everybody's looking back towards his spawn side at Raptor still. Now Sinatraa, as he loves that spawn, finally loses it as Koler gets the frag up to ShahZaM. The res will come up, though, so it's back for round 2 for Sinatraa. Gets immediately killed by Genghsta. There's only going to be one more remaining inside that hell. It's going to be Dapr. Actually, zombs is still alive as well. It's a 2 versus 2. We turn the tides around, and zombs gets a triple kill to give the Sentinels the lead 6-5 in the first half.
Wow, this is the last round too, and so it could really tie us up. But for the side of the Sentinels, they finally have their first round lead, and a special one at that. Zombs coming in to get in the beautiful 3K. And, you know, they were really so focused on Sick, who was below down in hell. But Zombs, he comes in and he demands respect. Look at me, 3 kills, easy peasy, up from heaven. And now that's going to put him up in the leaderboards. Of course, nowhere clear to Sinatraa, but still a great effort from the Sentinels. And now, looking at the round ahead, they're getting a little bit more involved in Sick, already with the frag, fighting for that orb. Whoa, with 2! Let's go.
No pun intended. That was really nice from him there on that snap, on that second kill. And how did he get the first one? Again, that combo of the paranoia and then pushing through. They caught them. They got the frag onto the Sage, and the Sage fell down of Bjor. They break open the door, though, as Asuna is trying to go for this rotation. We're getting the spike plant inside B, but it's looking very dire now for the last round of Immortals.
I like the setup here. They're trying to get that smoke down. Stick is going to peek, and it's just a great lineup for Asuna. Sinatraa tries to get an early peek as well. That'll make the odds a little bit more even, but that's going to be the red carpet rolled out, and it's Immortals that have to back away. They're still looking to fight as the spike, it's sticking down, and it's sticking down quickly. They need to act. They swing together as a team. Thief going to find the first one, but it's Dapr. They don't check the 50. Around the corner goes Koler. And down he goes to Dapr. Beautiful 3K to deny the re-entry onto the site. It gives us a 7-5 scoreline with Immortals now on attack.
So if you're trying to look at the highlight reel, you had an ace coming in from Sinatraa, you had a 3K coming in from Zombs, you have a 3K coming in from Dapr, you got Sick with a couple of 2Ks going on as well. These guys are fragging right now for the Sentinels, and it started off really well here for the Immortals. I don't think it's over yet. They took the easier side, and then once Sentinels got a little bit more comfortable, you started seeing that it was going to lean more towards a one-way attacker side for the Sentinels. So let's see what Immortals could prepare now, as we're now switching sides.
I'm pretty excited to see what they end up coming up with. It's been a long time since the showdown, or at least what it feels like in Valorant Esports, a long time. Another chance at redemption here for Sentinels. They lost 13-12 the last time these two teams met on Ascent, and that is a defeat that you do not take lightly. Set up here for A as the paranoia comes out. Dapr going to be the first line of contact, as is Zombs, but he gets taken out. Dapr going to find one. He's going to find two. The Ghost is putting in the work. 3K for him. Asuna will be there for the refrag. Sinatraa as well to follow up, and now it's just down to 1 Immortals. The spike is down, and so is Asuna. Sick taking him out. A great round to kick us off here in the second half rather, for the Sentinels.
Yeah, that was a great job for Dapr, just keeping his cool even though he got paranoid. And that's the thing, though. I think it was a little bit too slow for them to try to get in. I'm wondering if because they put a cyber cage up, which kind of slowed down Immortals trying to get into the site at the same time, too. And because of that, as soon as they made it in, it was too late. Dapr wasn't even blinded anymore, so it was easy for him to swing out, get those 3Ks into the round, and then even get support from rotation coming in from the Heaven side. We didn't even get a spike down, so that's no money coming in for the Immortals, but they're still going to invest into 3 ghosts into the round.
Did you say that as soon as they made it in? Asuna? Did you say that? Is that correct? Yeah?
I definitely wanted to see some kills, but it didn't happen.
Okay, fair enough, but you might get what you asked for as there's a quick trade between both teams. ShahZaM gonna make that lightning strike as there's 3 down for him. And he'll just continue on spraying. 2 more now remain for Immortals. Asuna will find one, which might open up that B site and hopefully pick up an upgrade, but there's no weapon there. So he's kind of confused. This fell off the side of the world. And believe it or not, this happened to me earlier in Ranked. Somebody died in Defender spawn, and the op fell out of the world, and you couldn't pick it up. So, happened to Asuna. Hate to see it. Feels bad, man, in the chat, but it's another round for the Sentinels.
Yeah, that definitely made him feel bad at that point, because I guess he was falling back for his teammate's corpse that probably had a sheriff. And then now that it wasn't there, it kind of threw him off on, okay, I lost some time, couldn't find the gun, now everybody's rotated, I can't win this round, and then he got easily picked by somebody that pushed up towards the catwalk too. This round, though, we will finally see a gun round coming through for the Immortals at this point. You see a Phantom already being wielded by Asuna as he's looking to get this smoke towards his mid control. And there's also going to be the Brimstone Koler that's going to move up with him to try to take control of the catwalk side.
I like this push. Sick actually finds one. They paranoid to push forward and then push themselves. Asuna, though, he will get a refrag, so maybe it was not for naught. They will quickly trade, and it's still Immortals looking for a push towards A. They'll be a little deterred, but it's Sinatraa with the shotgun. We've seen him have some spicy weaponry before, but it's ShahZaM that steals the show as he finds a beautiful 3K. It's not going to be in the cards for him for the 4th kill, but now it's the 1v2. Trying to run away is Asuna with the spike. Now he might be looking towards B.
Yeah, he made it towards that mid side. I gotta say, a nice job at least there for ShahZaM. Kind of like a Wardell, usually an operator, but still very good with a rifle too. Asuna, for this point, has made it inside B. Cyber Cage is gonna go up as well in case he came from the main. He's actually gonna look for the battle. I wonder if he's gonna walk back towards the mid side. So far, he's just going to hold it off just to see if he can hear footsteps. So that's why he's getting very, very close to the wall. Everybody else, though, both players here from the Sentinels are at this mid side. And he might even be able to walk it over. But look at that. They're walking back towards catwalk.
You know, I have to imagine the Sentinels are wondering, where the hell did that spike go? They probably were looking for it because they definitely saw that it dropped when the spike carrier is down. It's pretty audible, and that's going to be Dapr. That'll seal the deal there on Asuna's fate. Another round for the defenders. And we are getting close to the end here. You know, there was a couple of rounds where, of course, it starts off, it's the pistol, blah, 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 blah. But now we're at a point where the economy is, of course, now starting to swing back and forth. And Sentinels have that swing in full effect. See if Immortals are able to bounce back. It's going to be very, very disappointing for them if they lose this first map, considering they were able to take it off Sentinels in the first case at the T1 Showdown.
And this is where it's going to get difficult now because you have Sinatraa in his favorite spot with the Odin. He's going to go for the recon arrow right now towards B main. Even the paranoid could be thrown, but it's a little bit too far. Now here comes the spray. Recon bolt destroyed, and he's going to spray it across, but does not connect, unfortunately. They're even combating for the orb, and Stick is running back.
It's quite interesting. You know, you don't really see in Valorant meta too often a fight for the orb, you know?
Yeah.
Usually it's just given up where the real estate is so much more open for either team to just take control of it. Koler is going to find one early with the Sheriff onto ShahZaM. And every kill is important on an eco for them because they're looking to try to make this very difficult. Paranoid when it comes out, it's going to be Sick. He's in a great position. One shot connects, but it's not going to be the second or the third. Now down to Sinatraa with his favorite Odin. He's ready to spray and pray, but he's not going to be answered today. Only finds one as Steve early finds the refrag, and now it's down to the 2v3. Weapons picked up here for Immortals so they can have a little bit more of an opportune time, and Zombs trying to break down that barrier orb, but combined with the shots from Dapr as they're looking to break open onto the site in a very difficult site to push in. Don't really know which choke point to walk through, but there's an Odin on the other side waiting to mow you down. So as the spike is ticking, let's see how this pans out.
And it's going to start with the paranoia to be executed here, but Pure is not going to get picked by that, so he's going to get the easy kill, but it's traded off by Dapr. Only 10 HP, Thief wall bangs him, Dapr falls down, and Immortals finally put the first point on the scoreboard here for the second half.
That was the eco. That was a round that Sentinels, that was a round that the Sentinels should have stayed fast and found positions to, or find opportunities to obviously win the round. And, you know, for the side of Immortals, when they played defense, they played very far back. They played almost too far back in some cases, as they were just trying to give space for the opposition to push in so that they can counter. But now for the side of Sentinels, it does feel like they're playing a little bit more forward, and that might have been the reason why Immortals was able to break through. A little overzealous, relying on the aim, relying on the ability to outduel, but they did not outduel in that round.
Oh, it's going to be such a close battle, and Koler gets the reaction shot, and a second one up to Sick. Sick was actually trying to kill Koler, went through the smoke, and it killed his teammate. So it was the stage that died. Orbitals tried to come down too, but nobody's going to peek out. Even we're trying to get some more action coming through, as we do have a Rolling Thunder coming out from ShahZaM. That is actually going to connect onto Koler, but Genghsta saves him there, coming out from the fountain on that mid side. So we summarize it with a 3 versus 1, with Dapr looking to clutch.
I mean, he's looking to clutch, but the odds are definitely not in his favor. He does not have a fresh corpse to use Neural Theft. At least it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. He's checking all the possible angles. Honestly, once he breaks that door down, it's pretty much telling where he is, so he's going to try to take the long way around. Not sure if that is a tripwire that is his. It doesn't look like that's the case. So even if he were to end up going towards the fish market, I believe that tripwire is, of course, Thief's. Yeah. And so he's going to need to just collect his things and be on his merry way.
Yeah, I think even at that point, I don't know if there was an operator inside that round, so you could lurk around towards that mid, but obviously now that he's hiding on his catwalk, it wasn't called for his teammate. That's somebody who was actually opting for the team. So he's going to stay and try to save his Phantom into the next round. So Immortals with a nice execution towards his mid side, very aggressive towards the mid smokes. It became a bloodbath pretty much of trades, but it comes down to Immortals taking the upper hand. I do like the fact that, you know, ShahZaM, he played under the unknown. He wanted to make a play. He threw out the Rolling Thunder. He got actually Koler into the corner, but he expected there was at least 1 or 2 more close to him as they kept playing that trade game. But his teammates for Koler were so far back, and that was an easier shot there for Genghsta to get that pick onto ShahZaM.
Yeah, Koler was just playing the martyr there. He knew he was going to die. There was no way that you go into that thinking, I'm going to survive. And quite honestly, 2 kills is a pretty good trade. That is probably, I mean, the best trade is a 1v5 cleanup, but that is obviously very hard to pull off, especially in a case like that where you're just pushing in a choke point blindly. But moving on to this round, Immortals, they're catching up round by round. They've got a lot of ultimates in play here. They've got the Hunters here, Neural Theft. They've got a Resurrection as well, but both teams have a Resurrection. So in some cases, that is often used to just nullify the other. But when bodies are found in very difficult places to reach, it can actually quite benefit you if you use your Resurrection early enough. Smoke's going down, and it's still Sentinels biding their time with a minute left on the clock.
And what I like about Immortals' play so far is that you see from the beginning of the round, so far they haven't even smoked mid. And the second thing is they like to spray, right? Because you could actually spray through that wall. They don't care to let people know their opposition know where they are. You come out towards that fight, I have 6 bullets left. It's enough for me to get the kill. I don't have to go for a reload every time I spam 10 bullets. That kind of makes a difference as a different types of play style from some players on the attack versus other teams, where they just like to go for all-out executions and prefer to shoot when they see opponents.
Ooh, I could see that Zombs was trying to hide behind the box. He's going to find one. They'll get a res as well, and it's going to be bad news bears for the defense. But Dapr makes it worth his while. Resurrection on Sinatraa as well. Puts another one into the mix, and it's down to the 4v1. Genghsta, the last one standing. He's got a tall task ahead. 13 seconds left on the clock. At this point, I might just want to save the weapon. He's still determined to push in, and it's Dapr that'll clean him up, inching ever so closely to that match point.
And it shows how much these guys have so much confidence for their teammates to go for immediate reses in the middle of a gunfight for both of the teams, right?
Yes.
So I love that play. I love that synergy. I love the camaraderie for the teams too. And, you know, we have each other's backs, and it turned out very well for the Sentinel team, as they were just able to hold everything back here on the defender side.
But you know what? We saw that on the attack too. There was a round where Sick rezzed and then they all pushed in with their knives and it didn't work out. So it's not always going to be the answer.
You're running in with your knife.
Yeah. Okay, Sinatraa. Okay. All right. Let's put the Hunter's Fury down. Let's talk about it. Don't know how he finds that frag, but he does. And now that opens things up for the Sentinels. I think they're hungry to close it. ZaM's going to push in aggressively down the catwalk. It's Sinatraa as well pushing in. Maybe they have an idea that this isn't Eco, of course, not really having the weaponry. But Genghsta's got a Phantom. This tells me that this is not an Eco.
No,
They've got weapon.
Definitely a buy coming through, and then you have Sinatraa coming back with the Hunter's Fury, and he's even running down towards that catwalk with the Odin in his hand, just pre-firing everything. So they still have that confidence. They want to assert dominance early in this matchup too. It looked like it was basically them patching up here into this matchup for the Immortals, and Sentinels just want to say no. Sinatraa, you just saw it, even flying all the way from spawn side, aimed down the site, got the kill, and look at this aggressive push. All 5 players alive on a flawless, and they close in towards that B main. I don't know, man. It's just Immortals. Let's bring it to the second map already. This is what Sentinels is playing. Is saying, rather.
So if I were to base my analysis off of just this map alone, I'm already seeing that Sentinels are a newer team than what we last saw at the T1 Showdown. Yeah. They didn't really make it quite far, to be quite honest. In fact, it was Immortals that kicked them out of the playoff stage. And then they fell down to the lower bracket, and I don't exactly remember who they faced, but it doesn't seem like they made it very far since it was FaZe and Immortals fighting for that 3rd place match, right? Or fighting to move forward, right? So it does really feel like Sentinels have their strategies unlocked. They know what they want to do, and they're executing as a result of that. That was an aggressive round from the defense. Started with the Hunter's Fury, and then they pushed Cat together as 2, and even if one fell down, you still get the trade. They are looking to make moves here, and it starts here with the Sentinels.
That's right. So when you're looking at this matchup now, it is one-sided and very dominant here for the Sentinels, at least for the last 2 rounds. As Sinatraa back at his spot towards this B side. Hunter's Fury does not connect with anybody there. But all of the attackers, you can see him are lurking up towards this cat, and there's only one person, and that is Dapr, trying to hold it, and he's going to try to hold it for as long as he can.
Yeah, an early peek here from zombs, though. He's going to take Genghsta down to 19, and it's quite aggressive as he pushes in with the Owl Drone and still going to survive the fall line as well. Makes it very difficult for Genghsta to get out of that situation. Shots are good, and it's Dapr as well. Koler, though, sneaks into the site. They've got control of the A site, and now it's down to the 3v3, and it's Sentinels that have to push back in.
Yeah, the hat is off as well. There's a Neuro Theft being thrown here by the Immortals, so they know where the rotation's coming from, and that is all coming from the spawn side at the rafters. ShahZaM trying to lead the charge, moving outside the window so he could flank from that big door. So as soon as he breaks the wall, they know that where it's coming from. So Bjor and his teammates playing super close towards this Jenny. Let's see if they can hold it.
They've got all angles covered. Sinatraa looking for a great shock dart, and he's going to push as it lands as well. The buddy system in tow. One going to be behind the boxes, and the spray's good onto one. Looks like a quick trade down to the last 1v2 around the corner goes ShahZaM. It's all up to zombs now, and the swing is good for Bjor, and it's a round back for Immortals.
That was a gamble right there. I mean, you're playing it super close to that point. It's going to be an expensive round for you to win too. Looking at the money situation, look at that. See, look at the attackers. They have no money left. Barely any money. So you're going to see probably Genghsta with a Bulldog if you want to. Same thing with maybe Thief or even Small Armor. Yeah, you can go for that as well. So it's going to be small shields and rifles going through here for the Immortals. So despite them winning that round, it was still an expensive one for them to move forward.
Yes.
I hate how these colors of the scoreboards are so confusing. But we got it right. We got it right.
Yeah, it honestly, it screwed me up yesterday too, so I feel that. I feel that.
So now still a map point situation here for the Sentinels as we're just waiting here for a big refresh going on here from both the chat and for ourselves to see what's going to happen. It's a close one so far into that last matchup here, Simo. But is it going to be enough now? Like I said, a super low buy coming in for the Immortals.
Bjor going to be trying to push in here, looking for Genghsta as well to support him. An important round for them, of course, to win. Can be Genghsta. He's got himself a decent angle to try to push in. Sinatraa with the spray in is going to be good. Doesn't find anybody, though. And now it's still Immortals trying to push in. They're all held up here in Pizza, having a quick slice, and then looking towards the B site. Dark Cover as well, going to push off the back of site. It's zombs as well to be there, but it's the shadows looking for whoever is on the site itself. Dapr is going to be the one that defends it. That's two already on the site. Sinatraa with one. Dapr just playing ring around the rosy, but does not check the last cozy in the corner. It's going to be Koler that takes him out. Orbital strike that's going to push them all out of that back corner. And now it's the 2v3 with Sentinels pushing back in.
Great job by Koler. Great job by AsunaCS as well. Looking for a 4K, but it's stopped by Stick. Stick healing himself back. He's going to be by himself on his 2 versus 1 versus Koler and versus Thief. And now he's slowly closing through. He knows that there's somebody just around the corner of the default boxes, and Koler, because of that pre-fire shot, looks back towards that wall and immediately dispatches the Sage to take him down. Stick falls, and Immortals still fight another round.
And another round is another round that they stay in the game. It is, of course, match point for Sentinels. And for the side of Immortals, they're just trying to make it through and see if they can... to be quite honest, you know what would be crazy? You know what would be crazy? If they were able to win 13-12 over Sentinels here. That's what happened last time. So what if it happened this time? That would be... But I'm not gonna count the cows till they come home just quite yet. So for the Sentinels, they still have the chance to defend here and take us to map 2.
Yeah, definitely. I was just looking back at the stats here. It was the T1 Nursery Gamers Showdown. It was 13-10 on Bind, 13-10 on Haven for each team, and then 13-12 that Sentinels lost here on this map. And it's starting off once again, but at least the story's different. Sentinels gets the first kill here into the round, and they're one frag closer to bring it to a second map. Asuna moving forward with his teammate towards Pizza. Actually, all 4 of them are towards this mid, and they're going to try to push towards that back where ShahZaM is waiting.
Unfortunately, misses the shot, uses that flash as well. A couple of those pre-fire shots make it quite difficult for ShahZaM to peek around the corner, and he'll just be smoked off completely. Immortals, they're going to rush out of that position, not feeling too comfortable to stay there for too long. And you can see Sentinels, they've pulled off a lot of that utility and that membership from the A site, but now it's just down to zombs. He sees the smokes go down, and it's a pretty telling sign that it may be the A execute. You know, there's only 30 seconds left on the clock, so it's a very important amount of time for them to try to execute. You're hearing all that noise. Zombs is in a perfect position, but out the smoke he goes is Koler. That'll deny that push. Dapr, though, on the site, the spray cannot connect to the second, and now it's the 3v3 with that spike going down.
Oh, even better. It's going to be the orb coming through the whiff from ShahZaM as he gets punished by Asuna. And you got to give it to Koler every single round. They're always a man behind. And look at him. He's always at the right place, but unfortunately loses that fight to Sick. And Sick has a res, so he's going to put his teammate up. And that is now going to be a 2 versus 3 moving forward. Off shot missed by Sinatraa. Asuna spanks him for that. And now it's a 2 versus 2. Both of them at default spot. 1 versus 1 battles. And Thief and Asuna both win their own. And they survive another round.
Okay, but let's talk about that for a second. Zombs gets res, and Sick goes for the 1v2. Guess what Zombs does? He starts defusing. They have so much confidence in each other that Zombs is just like, yeah, forget it. Like, yeah, he's got this. It's fine. He's got this. And then Sick is like, no, I don't. He swings around the corner, and it's Steve that's like, wait. It's like that, like, there's like an exclamation point like above his head, and there's like, what? You know, Nani? Like, he just turns the corner, takes him out. And they're still in this. Immortals, they got 2 more to go. They want to tie us up and obviously bring us to that overtime match, but they are holding strong.
Look at this. So a force buy coming in now for the defenders of Sinatraa and company of Sentinels, sorry, as ShahZaM has a judge. Watch the judge being the gun that's going to change the round over for this matchup here and give a chance for Sentinels to move forward. If not, though, it is a broken buy that they have for this defense that's going to allow, technically on paper, to make it 11-12 for the Immortals, and we will go to distance in this first map.
We did see, of course, Sinatraa there with the frenzy, try to take out that owl drone before it darted him, but it unfortunately did, and we're seeing an owl drone of Sinatra's own pushing in through the fish market. Unfortunately, we'll not find fish, but a couple of enemy Immortal players hanging around on the other side. And Sick gets quite aggressive. The pistol is not going to be good as Bjor will take him out with the headshot. And actually, it's Asuna that gets into the back of sight, and Sinatraa tries to hold on, but now he's in a very sticky situation. He's about to be flooded in from behind, but it's Immortals. They've got full control of the site.
Yeah, and you saw a Thief that's lurking down towards that mid, and there you go. The Judge does not come into play here for the Sentinels. It's looking very good to bring this into that 24th round. The last round to go in regulation as Zombs also falls. A 5, make that a 4 as Dapr gets the shot onto Thief versus 1 versus 0 as Asuna sweeps up the kill. And now they're going to have the money at least on the other side for the Sentinels. They have enough for an operator as well. This is going to be a stressful round for both of these teams.
It does look like they're still, deciding to go with the Phantom instead. Yep. We're seeing a couple of Vandal buys for the Immortals who are, just holding on to the weaponry that they had in the previous round. But regardless, after this money doesn't really matter a whole lot. It's the overtime round. And for Immortals, this is the most important one. Well, actually, the following two are the most important ones. But for Sentinels, they want to end the train right here. They want to pull it to a full stop. You're seeing the positioning. They're getting a little bit more aggressive here. Sinatraa, he was able to find a great start earlier on with the Hunter's Fury. He's going to find two early that are hanging around the AC, and they'll get that orb and likely back away from the side of the Immortal.
Yeah, that charged up the orbital strike, for Koler. On the other end, I was going to say, they actually have 4 ultimates for the defender side to make that only 2, though, unfortunately, as Zom dies. A Dapr pushes up on Catwalk. It's looking to get traded back, but Asuna misses the shot. Just around the corner, it's going to be breached for ShahZaM. He gets the kill, coming across as well for another flashpoint, and a Rolling Thunder. That's not going to connect, on the Thief. But Thief still gets the kill. A Brimstone ultimate coming down towards that mid-side. Sick does not get hit for that. Thief gets the kill to Sinatraa. Traded off by Sick. 2 versus 2. Neural Step coming out from the Sentinels at the same time as well. But Koler still wins the fight against Sick. Dapr now on a 2 versus 1.
That was one hell of a round. That was spicy from the start to the finish, but the round's not over yet. It is the Mortals that are getting that spike down. Unfortunately, no ultimates available, so it cannot get any more interesting than it is, but Dapr with a great camera actually pushes through the smoke down to the 1v1 and now going to back away, likely funnel in from the window, and thankfully for him, it has been broken down. Dapr down to 37 HP. Of course, it is Koler that is fully stocked, and unfortunately, once he sprays through this door, it's going to be quite telling where he's coming from. The spray is good. He gets a little bit more involved, and there's a wall on the other side. And he's still trying to check his corners. The last one is down below Hell, and Dapr, so close. Koler taken down to 30 HP, but man, Silly, it's going to overtime, and we might see a repeat of the T1 showdown.
We will see a repeat, at least of the overtime, definitely. Who knows what the result's going to be. But just to let you guys know, unfortunately, we are going to play sudden death only into this overtime. We're watching earlier on a tournament with the Ignition series with Vitality, and it seems as though there was some bug that still happened, and just to play the safe case, we couldn't play the overtime on that sign. So we're just going to continue on with the sudden death into this tournament now. So it's still going to be 1 round sudden death in this first map.
However, when we do end up going over to Bind, it is a map that is Sentinels' comfort pick, something that they're comfortable with, and they were able to take Immortals 13-10, but we're not there yet. Still, it's the overtime where all the cards are on the table, and we'll see how they are played. Koler doing exactly what he does, just pushes in through the Kench bench, trying to find anyone on the other side. The smoke is good from the opposition to try to delay it for a little while, but it's full mid control here for Immortals. So the defense, they're doing their best Immortals impersonation, playing very far back and waiting for their opposition to push in.
Yeah, even Asuna is on the top of the boxes to look up for any aggressive pushes towards this catwalk, but all 5 players now of the Immortals are holding up towards this mid. We did have an Owl drone coming out from that B main that's going to launch that trapwire, so that's going to give a chance here for Sinatraa to push forward if he wants to, but they're just looking to go for faster rotations. No, they are actually going for it. So 2 people are going to go for a big flank, but the execution is happening very soon here for the Immortals inside A.
I like this flank, though, from Sinatraa. Unfortunately, it may be caught out here by Asuna, but he just leaves in an unfortunate time. Dapr finds one. The spray is good, and they're up on the boost. They actually push in. It's Koler who's pushing in quite aggressively. There are, of course, 2 members on the site. And it's Koler that'll take out the one in heaven. Zombs will get a quick trade, and Genghsta to follow suit. It is getting down to the wire, but it's still the 3v3 with the spike not down yet.
Yeah, and Dapr is still holding back here towards his ramp. There's only 14 seconds left on the clock, finally to get that spike down. But Sinatraa is moving forward here with Sick as they're going for that flank. Pure to fall. 2 only alive for the Immortals as they're pretty much out in the open inside the site. Genghsta is going to have to be the first point of contention. Koler even walking out, gets the first kill onto Sinatraa, but it's traded out, and unfortunately, Sick gets that last kill. They'll come in for the defuse, and they get the revenge as they win the map of Ascent. Their map pick, 13-12, over the Immortals.
Okay, that was one hell of a match. Listen, I understand that maybe the past two best of threes may have not been, they were a little rocky, might I say, okay? But this is one hell of a start to a best of three, and I'm excited for the map ahead.
I just got to say sorry to Golden Boy and Tabala. It seems as though we're getting